So let's look at these. These are expressions. They're idioms. That means that these words, when you take them all together, they mean one thing. So how do you cut somebody some slack? What do you do? Anybody?
Professor, what is the meaning of slack?
Exactly. That's what I thought. That's what I'm asking you.
Yeah, I don't know the meaning of slack.
Okay. Does anybody? If you do, say yes. Okay. So when you cut somebody slack, slack means it's the opposite of tight. So if I had a string and I was holding it tight or taut, T-A-U-T, I'm going to ask Karen, who's going to do some of the English classes online, some of the TOEFL classes, like with listening or with reading. So taut, T-A-U-T, means tight. And the opposite of tight or taut is slack. So if you had this fictional string, I'm looking, okay, here we go. I can use this. That's taut. Got it? That's slack. Taut, slack. Okay. So what is slack?
It is the opposite of tight.
That's correct. It's the opposite of tight. So cut a person some slack. It's not about strings, obviously, but usually we use this expression when, you know, somebody is in a disciplined situation where you have rules and you have to do things the right way. But somebody makes a mistake. Have you ever made a mistake? Anybody?
Sure.
Okay.
Yes, Professor, because you are human.
Yeah, exactly. So when you make a mistake, you hope that the person who is supposed to, you know, make sure that you do things right will cut you some slack. In other words, that they will be forgiving, or they'll, you know, they'll understand what happened, and they're not going to make you adhere tightly to what you're supposed to do. They're going to say, oh, okay, he got distracted. That's okay this time. Normally, this is what I demand. Okay? So to cut somebody some slack is to give them space when they need it. And it's said in a situation where the person cutting, if you're like the teacher or the officer or the administrator or the boss or the manager, sometimes you're going to want to cut people some slack. And if you're the employee or the student or any of the people that are managed by this person who's in a higher position, sometimes you hope that the person values you enough to know and knows you enough to know that you're doing your best and you're going to do your best. And they will cut you some slack when you need it. Like if you catch COVID, you're going to hope that your boss says, stay home, get better. Not, you got to come to work anyway. That would be cut you some slack. Or your, you know, your parent or your spouse or your kid gets injured and you need to not come in. You need to stay with them. You hope that your boss or your teacher will cut you some slack and allow you to do what you need to do, even though it's not what they need you to do right now. Okay? Okay, tell me about who can use to look something up in a sentence. Raise your hand if you think you can. Okay, Zabiula, go ahead.
To look for something up. Actually, this sentence is like, I was not sure about the meaning of this question. So I told him to look it up on the internet.
Excellent. Yes, that's exactly right. To look up something means you go find it and find its meaning. Now, let's look up to somebody. Use that one in a sentence.
That means
Raise
like-
your hand if you know. Okay, Zabiula, is there anyone else?
Professor, should I make a sentence of this idiom?
Yeah. Okay, so
It will be difficult for me because I cut a person some slack.
okay, so let's ask Abu.
Yes, I want you to look up to my son.
You want to look up to your son?
Yes.
That's not a usual way to use it. Usually looking up to somebody is usually somebody who's older than you. That, you look to for advice or knowledge.
for inspiration.
So let's try another sentence. Ooh, raise your hand.
Professor, I can.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, it will be better for me if you kindly bring some new information to light, which can enlighten our mind.
I didn't get that one.
It will be better for me if you kindly bring some new information to light, which can enlighten our mind.
No, that's not using that expression, and it doesn't talk about that expression. Abu, try again.
Yes. So if you can listen to me, but you should look up to your father.
Yeah, it's really good if you can look up to your father. And you can't look up to someone who isn't, a good person, who isn't admirable. That's a good word to put in the chat. Admirable. If somebody is not, you do want to look up to your parents, but everybody can't necessarily look up to their father or to their mother or to their grandparents, or usually you want to look up to people that you are, that you can learn from. So we need to find people in our lives that we can look up to. If our parents don't fit that description, if we are more likely to look down on our parents, then we need to find parent substitutes. And people do. Most people do.
Professor, I got a question.
Yes.
I actually have a question that can we look up to someone who's dead, like a good charismatic leader who's not alive anymore? Could we look up to someone who's not alive?
Yes, actually, because they're still, you can still learn from them. You can learn from their writings. You can learn from their speeches. So as long as you can still learn from someone, you can look up to them. That's a very good question. Thank you for asking it. Okay. Okay, let's look at 12 and 13 on here. Who can put into a sentence, give someone free rein? Can you see it? When you give someone free rein, raise your hand if you know a sentence.
Free rein.
When you give someone free rein, what are you doing?
Teacher, this is correct. For example, I look at someone special in my mind. I don't know.
No,
I
I'm
try
looking.
it.
Yeah, thank you. I'm looking at number 12. What is this talking about?
Number 12. Okay, I cannot see. Okay, teacher, sorry. Give someone free rein. Okay.
Yeah,
I think, Professor, the meaning of give someone free rein is give someone some free opportunity or some free choice.
yes, to give them some free choice. And it's kind of very similar to number 1, to cutting them some slack.
Give someone free
Yeah.
rein. It means, for me, teacher, this is example. Give someone fixed rein.
Yes.
It means give someone attention.
Give someone what? Attention?
Yeah, give someone attention.
No.
If you have a free, no.
No, nope.
No, I think that it will be free suggestion. Free suggestion.
Yeah, it's really about horses. A rein,
Horse?
the word rein, R-E-I-N, is a word used for horseback riding equipment. That's the rein is, they have a bridle and then there's a strap, 2 straps that come back, and the person that's riding is holding those straps, right? And when they hold the straps in different ways, you're guiding the horse. So if you leave the reins slack, you're not holding them tight, then you're telling the person with a horse that, okay, it's your choice what to do. You have free rein. R-E-I-N.
This is the first time that I
So there
hear this
is-
kind of vocabulary, teacher. That's
What?
why this is the first time I hear this kind of words in my
Yep.
mind.
Well,
Yeah.
these
no,
lists,
Professor, there is another word on same pronunciation, and the spelling is R-E-I-G-N, rein, which is the meaning of his domination.
that's right, correct. Yes, and there's also precipitation, rain, R-A-I-N.
Yeah,
Right?
Professor, yeah.
It's raining. So
Yeah.
yeah. So you've got to know what the context is. This is true, I think, in every language, that you have to understand, what the context is, what the image is in the person's mind who's speaking, and what the part of speech is of the word. And, because you've got to figure out when you hear words or see words, okay, what does this word mean in this sentence? Words don't just have meaning all by themselves. Now, do you see that word rain in another expression on this page?
Yes, give some, rent someone in.
Yes, number 13, rein someone in. So now, knowing that a rein, spelled this way, is a strap that controls a horse. or any other person or being that you can control, use rein someone in a sentence. Anybody?
Person, you're telling his name, John is reining in his children a lot. Like he is having his children very much under control.
Yes. He's controlling his children. He's reining them in. Correct. He's not, excuse me, he's not giving them free rein, and he's not cutting them any slack. He's reining them in. So that's number 1, number 13, and number 12 all kind of share a similar situation, right? And also, if he's reining in his speech, if he's holding himself back, reining himself in from saying something, we could also say it in number 16, that he's holding his tongue. He is reining himself in from saying something. Okay.
Reining someone in, it means reining is in a illusion floating in the range.
Yes. And
Okay.
the analogy, the picture is holding the reins on a horse when you're on the horseback.
Okay. Thank you, teacher. I
So
understand now.
good. So a lot of expressions come from, they apply words in one situation to another similar situation. So yes, you can use those expressions to rein in or to give free rein when you're riding a horse, but they're much more useful than that, because you can expand the knowledge to any time that you are exerting some control over someone or not.
Like this teacher, if you rein in a horse, you put in the reins of the horse. Is this kind of expressions?
Yes.
Thank
Right.
you, teacher.
Yeah.
Yeah, ma'am.
Yes, Sabri.
Yeah. Can I say like I given my friends free rein in order to win his competition, or in order to win the competition, like I given.
That's not very clear.
Yeah.
Because you give your friend free rein in in deciding where you're going to go eat, for example. That works. You give your friend free rein about which bed does you want to sleep in, or you have to get very specific about where you're giving the free rein.
So I have a question also.
Yes.
So it can, yes, so it can mean to give someone the freedom to do what he wants.
Yes. Right. Yeah. So think about times when you want to give somebody freedom to do what they want, and then you make up a sentence using that expression. Okay, how about 15? What does 15 mean? To hold your own? Zabula?
It's just a guess, but when you are trying when you want to do something, but you stop yourself from doing it, is that correct?
Nope. This one's, it's not clear what the analogy is, what the metaphor is, but it refers to a situation where you're doing something challenging, you're doing something hard. And if you can keep doing that and keep doing it reasonably well, then you can say he held his own in the discussion or
Teacher,
in the contest. Yeah.
teacher, like for example, this one is said, hold one's own. It means for me, don't you worry about me. I've been playing basketball since I was a kid, and I can hold my own against your burns.
Very good. Yes, that's a very good use of holding your own. You've been
Oh,
playing basketball since you're a teen, and even if the other team is really good, you can still hold your own. You can still do okay. So there's always a notion, an idea of
mhm,
succeeding against competition.
mhm.
That's really what hold one's own means. You still succeed even in challenging circumstances. And just out of curiosity, once again, what does it mean to hold your tongue?
Hold your tongue.
Zabula?
To keep quiet.
Keep quiet, yeah. When it goes along with reining yourself in, to hold your tongue. Look at those two expressions and how different their meanings are and how much they look alike. Wow. So that, playing with specific words in this way and putting them into sentences. And when you look things up in the dictionary, often you get a whole bunch of sentences, especially online. You get a lot of expressions where those words are used. And if you really read all of the examples, it gives you, an idea. Okay, I can use it this way. I can't use it this other way. And it's really important in becoming fluent and at ease in English or any language. It's important to have that level of facility, of flow, of ease with understanding different crazy expressions. Every language has them. There's two items here that, oh, wait a minute. I saw another one that we can relate to cut somebody some slack. What does it mean when you cut somebody some slack?
To give space for somebody.
Yeah, to give space for somebody to make a mistake or not perform perfectly. Another one that goes along with that is when you're cutting a person's slack, number 14, you're giving what they're telling you the benefit of the doubt. It's the same meaning, basically. So if I say, okay, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, what it means is I'll believe you, even if I don't have proof. Give them the benefit of the doubt. It's the same willingness to be compassionate and to allow that people are human and they don't always do everything perfectly. So here's one where I wish that Apple phone would give us the benefit of the doubt. My friend's phone died 3 days ago, and we have spent at least 12 hours talking to the phone company, talking to Apple, which made the phone, saying that it's dead and it needs to be replaced. And the Apple, in order to replace the phone, in order to release the phone, Apple needs to send a code to that phone. And we need to tell them what the code is. But guess what? If the phone's dead, it can't receive the code. And there is no way they are giving my friend the benefit of the doubt. She has to wait till the end of January before they will give her the code in a different way. So for 3 weeks, she has to go without a phone. Why? Who knows? It doesn't make any sense. And they're not giving us the benefit of the doubt. They're not giving her any slack. And it makes you really angry. So look at number 6. She has not been able to bring the facts home to the Apple representative. I can't get the code. The phone is dead. It's not fraud. The phone is dead. So, excuse me. Okay. One more expression from this list.
17.
17. Okay.
For my example, teacher is bring with the telephone in the hallway. I knew it had to be the doctor calling with the test result. I don't know if
I don't think that doesn't make me think of 17. But
bring
let's see.
something to mind.
Yeah,
What
what
is
does that mean? It's very simple. It means to remember.
Remember,
Remind you to somebody, to
Yes,
something,
or
teacher.
remind somebody. Yes,
Okay.
right.
The bring something to mind. It means remind you for somebody or something.
Yes,
Okay. Gotcha.
right. So, for instance, if she talked, she must have talked to about 10 different representatives that day. And so she couldn't bring to mind the name of what each representative told her. She kept trying and trying and trying and couldn't remember, couldn't bring to mind the whole conversation and who told her what. Okay. So this list is published on the website, December 15th to 22nd. There is a list published for each week. And that's an example of how to work through a list. It's if you want to do it with someone on WhatsApp, make an appointment with someone else in this class to do a quiz on a set of 20 words. They're all sets of 20 words. And we have about 8 sets of 20 words or expressions posted there. This one's been up there for 3 weeks. But if they're no good, just posted there, they got to be stuck in your mind. Do you agree?
Yes, teacher.
Yeah. So you need to go find
yes.
them and, just play with the words. make sentences up.
Can
You
you put
know.
this word? Can you put these words, teacher? For example, the sentences in the group, so that all the student can remind this kind of words to apply to everybody.
Okay, so we have them up. You guys can make up endless sentences and post them on WhatsApp in the TOEFL group of WhatsApp. Make a whole big list together, you know, different people making different sentences. Just keep adding to them. Because that's this list, all of the lists are from a book that's got 80 lists. So 1,600 words that are given by the TOEFL test company as words that will help you to understand and speak and listen with, you know, good scores. You need to increase your vocabulary. And this is, you know, it's a pretty dumb way to do it. You just study a bunch of words, but it works. So, and it's the fastest way to build your vocabulary, to really focus on learning new words and practicing new expressions. Bring a list of 4 or 5 of them with you and find opportunities to use them in your everyday conversation. It's amazing. I've been trying that just for the fun of it. And it's really quite amazing how often situations come up where you can plug in these words. They actually apply to a lot of situations. And when you do that, you are building your vocabulary. And that is one of the things that they score you on, is how well do you use current expressions? Do you understand them? Can you use them spontaneously? And that brings you points. So it's a really important thing to practice. Okay, quiet. Thank you. Okay, so like I said, these are on the website. Go to the website, and I'm gonna, every once in a while, I'm going to bring up one of these and just on all of the lists and just ask you, okay, what does this mean? Okay.
Yes, Professor, it's okay.
Okay. So this
Yes.
is a huge resource that will help you gain fluency. But you have to spend some time with it. You have to play with it. Make it a game. If anybody can create a game for playing with these words, let me know, and we will use it. I mean, you know, might as well have fun, right?
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just want to ask just the audience. Yeah, because the vocabulary, yeah, is very difficult for me. Yeah. What is the meaning, the real meaning of lookup? Lookup, my teacher.
Well, okay. So there's 3 lookups here, I think. There's 10, look something up. There's 11, look up to someone. And then there's just a plain look up, number 9. Who can tell us about those 3 lookups? What does any one of them mean?
Yes. So what is the real meaning? So it can be lookup itself has a lot of meaning, maybe. So what is the real meaning? Yeah.
So which number are you talking about?
Number 9.
Okay,
Look up.
number 9. The word look up. What does it bring to your mind? What do you do when you're looking up?
Just want to know the real meaning. Yeah. So how to use the in sentence. Yeah. In sentence here. Yeah.
Just look up.
Mm.
Karen, you want to illustrate looking up? Yeah, exactly. That's it. Or I'm gonna do the opposite. I'm gonna look down.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I know. Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now when you look something up, we did this earlier.
Professor,
Yes. What?
is the meaning of look down is meaning show some respect?
Yes. If you look down on someone, you are not showing them any respect. So I look down on that person means I don't respect them. But if I look up to them, it doesn't mean I'm looking up to them. They're not taller than me. What does it mean?
Sorry, Professor.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't get you.
Okay, if I'm looking up, I look up to a teacher, for instance. I do. I look up to my teachers.
Well, I am seeking for a teacher. I am seeking for a teacher.
Yeah. And when you're seeking for a teacher, you want to find someone that you can look up to, right?
Yes. Mhm.
What am I saying?
Look up, it means, for example, teacher, let me see. Look up the range to Beijing in the temple. This is for a good example, teacher.
I didn't quite understand every word. Say
As
that again.
You said, look up in
To a
number
teacher.
9. Yeah,
Yes.
for me, the example for me, look up the train to the Beijing in the temple. Or they also
well,
look up. They also look up to the teacher.
right. Look up to the teacher means you admire the teacher.
Yes.
That's it. That's it.
Admirers.
You admire the teacher. Or if you look down on a teacher or a student or anybody, it means you don't honor them, you don't admire them, you don't respect them.
For example, we should not be looking down on homeless people on the streets.
That's a very good use of that sentence. Yes.
Professor, we can say don't look down upon the poor people.
Yes, that's right.
For teacher, this is my example.
Yes.
Many people have to look up the meaning of the words in the dictionary.
That's what it means to look something up. Yes, very good.
Okay.
Which is different from looking up to someone. Looking up to someone is the opposite of looking down on them.
I'll just look up the rain. I just look up the train.
Yes.
Times.
You look up the expressions you don't know.
Okay.
Or you look up anything you don't know. It means you search for it and learn it in a reference book or place. Boy, this is pretty hard work, isn't it?
I look up to
Professor,
him.
I don't think this is a very tough task, because if we practice a lot, then it will be more easier to us, because it is because there is a word, or there is a proverb say that practice makes a man perfect. So I think that if we practice a lot, then it will be easier to us more and more.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. So go find this list, look at it some more, play with it. The more you do this, and the better acquainted you get with these different words and expressions, all of them in all the lists, the
Look,
better your English is becoming.
yeah, look up also, teacher, you can use to, like, for example, look up their number in the telephone dictionary. You can use this
Yes,
one for the
that's right.
telephone, or
Look up
maybe you can say the children should look up to their parents.
yeah, that would be nice. If they look up to their friends, that means they admire them
Yeah.
and they find that they are helpful.
A
Yep.
lot of words, a lot of sentence, teachers, that you need that you can use look up in different way.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. And,
You can,
this,
yeah,
this is,
sometimes you can use for your parents, you can use for your friends, or you can use for things, or some, for
that's right.
example, yeah,
Like I
you
said,
can use
anytime
for
that,
your boss.
yep,
Yeah.
anytime that I have taken one of these lists and just held it open in front of me and played with, okay, when can I use any of these expressions? There have been, one every couple of minutes or so that comes up where I can use one of these expressions. It's really amazing.
There is one recommendation I want to give to my friends here, that if you want to become more familiar with these words, I mean, open a book and read. The more you read, the more
Absolutely
these
true.
words face.
Yep.
Exactly.
The more you read and the more you listen, you will begin to understand these words when people use them. So then when you see them in a list, you know what they mean. Yep, exactly. So one of the best things you can do is make sure that you watch something on television in English most days, or listen up to a podcast or a TED talk, or read a newspaper or a serious magazine, and just do that routinely. Do it every day. You will learn a lot of, and look up what you don't understand.
And one more suggestion, Professor, that we could use for remembering these words, we could use flashcards. And
Yes,
that's a really good idea to mix the words and choose
absolutely.
between that
Yep.
hacks in our minds.
That's right. Yep. Put them on flashcards. Absolutely. This is something that will raise your score on any test, and it will raise your understanding and your ability to express yourself. To just keep adding words. Decide how many new English words you're going to know at the end of every day, and do it. It can be one, it can be five, it can be, I wouldn't make it a lot more than five, because you probably can't keep doing it. You probably can't hold your own if you make your goal more than 5 new words a day. Okay,
Okay, teacher.
so we've used up our time. I had fun. I hope you did too.
Yes.
I hope you feel like you learned something.